So, sometimes with YouTube, they don't like for you to say certain words or discuss certain topics too early on in the video. So we're going to start with a nice little segment on pictures of kitties I like. 4 doubloons kitty. This one is so scraggly. This one looks like it's having evil thoughts. This one, yeah, I really like this one. This one, it's too bright out. He's squinting. This one is sitting like he's listening to a tale. This one looks like it's really good at Legos. This is a video on how cheaply it's possible to manufacture unregistered firearms. Whoa, listen, I did not say how to, I said how cheaply. This video contains absolutely zero instructions, it contains zero assembly footage, it contains zero parts lists, everything in this video is completely legal. Relax, okay? Be cool. Now, the point of this video is to give an accurate assessment of how much it actually costs total to magic together a full one of these plastic long-distance cordless drills. So that number could go as low as a couple bucks with some of the newer entirely plastic designs, but I'm not counting those because they aren't really suitable for any sort of defensive purpose, and also they kind of have a bad habit of exploding. So we'll be sticking to things that feasibly can be used for defensive purposes, and we will go from cheapest to most expensive. Number 1. This little guy is the cheapest, coming in at a grand total of $132. It's a frame using the parts from a Ruger LCP-1. It's chambered in .380 ACP, which is, I think a lot of people would agree, probably the smallest viable defensive caliber. It doesn't hit quite as hard as 9mm, but with modern jagged hollow points, it will still absolutely kill you dead, especially at the range. You can actually hit something with the god-awful sights on this. I mean, honestly, they're not even really sights as much as they are, aren't. So, pros. It's very cheap. It is very light. It is very small. Cons. It is very cheap, it is very light, it is very small. That means that it recoils pretty nastily and is fairly hard to shoot. The trigger is double action only, very long, very heavy, it's fairly finicky to build. I like the design a lot, and this is a great thing to carry as a personal space increaser, but it absolutely should not be your only option, and definitely should not be the one you start with. Also, like an actual LCP Max is like $300 and is astronomically better in every single conceivable way. Alright, gun number 2. The infamous Glock. Look, you're already familiar. I will not waste both of our time explaining what a Glock is. I will, however, explain a couple things about why they are so popular to DIY. Number 1. First and foremost, they work. They work well. Number 2, there really isn't a significant drawback in comparison to the OEM gun. The only serialized/regulated part of a Glock is the plastic frame, so you can just print it without relying on either needing to fabricate a metal receiver or replace metal parts with plastic, like with the Pocket Blazer, the LCP clone. Number 3, there is an enormous aftermarket of parts. Like, you can build a Glock entirely from parts not made by Glock. Number 4, they are unbelievably easy to build. Now, something like an AR isn't exactly, like an M2 in terms of assembly difficulty, but there are ways to do it incorrectly. A Glock is basically impossible to assemble incorrectly. The parts only fit one place, one orientation. So, how much does it cost? This, right here, is a straight-up level 1 Glock, basically. Grand total was about $273. Roughly a $190 slide and barrel, $75 worth of internal Glorgans, and then just using, printed iron sights. This is even factoring in the cost of filament, which was about $8, because I was using fancy big boy filament. Side note, if you have a printer that can handle it, like enclosure hardened steel nozzle that can hit 300C, and then hardened extruder gears, this stuff right here, Sariatech PPA CF core, it's straight up basically just the meta. It is a derivative of CF nylon that has better heat resistance, better stiffness, better impact resistance, has about 1/3 the water absorption rate of nylon, and then most importantly, the filament has all of the carbon fiber in the core of the strand. So the outer shell of the filament is just plastic. This massively improves layer adhesion and makes it way more skin safe. And the only downside compared to CF nylon is that it's expensive. It's like $80 a kilo, but well worth it in my opinion. Anyways, the Gucci Glock. This one costs like $600, mostly just due to like having a marginally more expensive slide, and then the main difference is that this one has a $250 optic on it, and then I guess a slightly nicer trigger. Let me get this in focus. This one is actually printed out of Polylite PLA Pro because I wanted something that I could shoot more without tearing my hands up like with a carbon fiber nylon. Now, in terms of the frame designs, the nicer one is a chairmanwon 19X V3 that I reinforced in a couple of places, including removing the pick rail and making the front one solid block, and more importantly, significantly reinforcing the bit under the front rail, which is a common point of failure on these, granted largely due to people not reading the instructions and using bad slicer settings, but whatever. This frame is quite possibly the most ergonomically pleasing frame of any handgun I've ever shot. Now, the other one... The other one is called something like a Glock 19X/45 OEM-ish on the C, and I printed it to have basically just like a level 1 Glock for the video. It feels like a regular Glock. It's got a bit of a backstrap. Okay, now the part that you've all actually been waiting for. So you know what that means. It starts with one missed bill, and then another. And then it's phone calls that you don't pick up, envelopes that you don't open, a knock on the door in the middle of the night, black Suburbans following you home, scratches on the window, blood splashed on your porch, opening the mailbox and finding a Polaroid picture of your kids getting off the school bus in the morning. Well, PDS Debt is here to help you with that. They've helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of the dire circumstances that you are in. Now, while I personally try to avoid debt by doing YouTube sponsor spots, if I was in the position of not being able to do those, I would use PDS Debt. PDS Debt has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and a 5-star Trustpilot trust score. This is because they've helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt, just like you are in now. Presumably. PDS Debt can help you get out of any kind of debt that you're in, including credit card debt, personal loan debt, medical debt, bills and collections. I asked if they could help you get out of karmic debt, and they said no. There's no minimum credit score required. They're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and put your money back where it belongs. In your pocket. You're 30 seconds away from being debt-free. Get your free assessment now and find the option that's best for you at pdsdebt.com/flesh. That's pdsdebt.com/flesh. pdsdebt.com/flesh. Okay, so what is this? This is an AR-9 pistol. Ordinarily AR-9s are called pistol caliber carbines, but this one is, I guess, a pistol caliber pistol. But more importantly, it is a Hoffman SL9 is the actual design of it. Now, why do I keep calling it the fishgun? Well, if you take a look at it, let me get this in focus, it is painted like a bonito. That's why I call it the bonito. Someone in the comments of my Q&A video got mad at me for calling this the bonito, because they thought I was just ripping off Hoffman. No, it's called the bonito because it is painted like the fish, the bonito. Why is it the bonito? The other name for the bonito is the bullet tuna. Get it? But yeah, it's mostly just a paint job. However, I have done I made some modifications to it. Now, as spec'd out here, as demonstrated, this cost about $650, but you can do it significantly cheaper because like 180 of that was for like a hydraulic buffer, just because it's nicer, but it's not necessary. So I can't tell you the parts that go into the bottom part of it because that's the firearm, but I can tell you what's in the top. The upper receiver is a Foxtrot Mic VFM9 with a 5.5-inch barrel that I picked up for around like $170, which honestly is a really, really great deal for it. Now, what I like about it is that it has a side charging upper instead of the charging handle style one. And then the only other things that I've really done with the upper are I put on a carry handle and front side. The carry handle's from Monstrum. It was like $40, and then the front side is just like a Leapers UTG $20 cheapo. So what does the Whip Machine SME do? Well, the Whip Machine SME stands for Sound Mitigation Equipment. The Whip Machine SME is a muzzle device for things that shoot bullets. The way it works is it's basically a muzzle brake that has a shroud on it. It's well known for being not a silencer, but it's okay. So it doesn't actually reduce the volume of it, but it redirects the concussion and blast that, you know, is typically associated with a muzzle brake away from your ears and the ears of people next to you. Like, it's great for using indoors at, like, an indoor range, so you don't have to just be like a complete asshole. What does it do to the sound? It takes it from this to this. No, I'm just kidding. It's the fishgun. Yeah, they're like $150. Like, it's a good break, and it's also just, you know, if you're shooting indoors a lot, it's worth it. Why do I have a carry handle and a front sight instead of just like a, you know, prism scope or a red dot? It looks cool. Yeah, I needed it for a video. Right, I creep at night. Posse deep is how